One. Hello, Slam Jammers. Welcome to the show. Well, we are post two drafts. We had the NPL draft first. We had the MLP draft second, and it stirred up quite some controversy. There was also so many exciting new players picked, so congratulations to those. We got a huge bloody show, so we're going to kick it straight in.
Slam Jam with Coach K, tell you now. Whipping up the court, bringing the rhythm and mad fun. Learning, playing, and laughing, we never stop. Pickleball podcast, taking it to the top. To the top.
I got Coach K with me in the home studio. Welcome, my friend. How you going?
Yeah, going great, man. I love the little setup you got here, turning the house into a little studio. Your missus must be thrilled.
Well, that's a loaded statement because you know she's not right now. It's, 7:14 at night. There's two kids out there. Yeah, she
One
just
of them had a fork in their hand. I think we're okay.
Well, we need Uncle Coco out there. Baby.
Yeah. No, man, it's good to be back. Obviously, we got a lot to kick into. We got 2 drafts underway. We also had the Slam Jam tournament. That was a cracker of a day.
Well, that was a hot day.
It was a hot day. Those beers went down too easy.
And the tipsy tea. How good were those?
They were good, man. Yeah, I still got to give those flags back to
Do you?
Yeah.
I've got something to give you on my car, actually. It's the pole.
Okay, great. Yeah, but good on them for sponsoring us, giving us some free alcohol to promote their brand. And ultimately, the best event of the whole day was obviously the beer pong tournament.
Oh, big time. And the racket triathlon.
Yes, that was... Who won?
Was it Caden and Taylor?
Yeah,
maybe
that
not.
sounds about right.
You know what Mike said? He thought we could run a whole tournament just on doing the racket triathlon.
Don't tell anyone.
Well, the CFO wants some money, so we might need to make that a thing.
Yeah. No.
Check your emails, people. There's a new tournament coming to town. And we got a couple of guests. Obviously, Ty's over in Bali. Now, we did send out the invite to him, and he didn't give us a reason. He just said he wouldn't be able to make it. But we do know he's currently either in a cigar bar playing paddle or playing pickle. So.
That's fair. Yeah. We did get a video of him in his cigar bar pretending to be working out of his laptop.
2 screens.
Yeah.
It looked a bit wanky. It's like, did you travel in a scooter with those 2 screens and then pull them out and then plug them all in and then
smoke a cigar and breathe into it? Yeah, it was a bit silly. But
anyway, we love you, man. But pull up your socks. We got Matt Carter. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Looking forward to digesting everything and talking about those that are hot off the
press.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mate, how was your Slam Jam experience? It was your first one. You came along.
I loved it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you had a good time. You always find a way to have a really good time, especially when there's alcohol involved.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
more than I've been told. So yeah, no, I had a really good time. Loved it. Super grateful being local, being able to make that sort of stuff.
Now you're a local, man.
I am a local. But yeah, it was a great tournament. Had a great time. Loved playing with Travis and Jane, and yeah, excited to be on the show.
You went pretty deep.
Yeah, me and Trav got 4th. We had a good time. Those beers, tipsy teas, they definitely help.
And that's the thing. Like it's one of those tournaments where we encourage you to have a drink, alcoholic beverage, between events. And I'm glad you did. Because then there's the people that, want to have a drink at the end, but then they don't. They're always like, they collect their trophy and then they're first to leave, Anyway.
Yeah, not me.
No, not you. You're a stayer. You were there to the very end. The
Very edge, yep.
We love that.
Till the lights turned off.
We've also got Mr. Dylan Kimlin. You've been in this room for the 2nd time now, mate. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you guys for having me. I unfortunately didn't get to play in your tournament. I was commentating elsewhere. So is it a bit like pool, right? Like you have beverages between each games and you gradually get better.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
Something like that. I don't know if you get better, but you enjoy it more. Like, you playing to a lower standard than you can is acceptable all of a sudden in your head. You're laughing, you're having fun. It's a nice time, nice vibe. Yeah,
very cool. Well, I'm glad to hear you guys had a good time, and hopefully your next shindig, whenever you guys get it going, I'll be involved.
Well, we haven't planned as far yet, but we've got some planning to do. I don't think we'll do it in December again. We had Christmas parties to contend with. We had a very long pickleball year for most people. Like, it was just a bit of a struggle, but it was fun, but it just we need to probably
new venue, so learning pains there, but all in all, awesome event, and can't wait to start planning the next one. It sounds like you want to go international.
Well, I want to do some holidays.
Okay.
Some pickleball holidays. It's already a big thing over in the US, and there's a lot of, shall I say, Southeast Asian countries that are well and truly getting behind pickleball, and some really quality venues, and particularly indoor venues. So we're talking about guaranteed games. So yeah, I am thinking about what we at Slam Jam can bring to an international holiday. Like, we've got Amy, Ty's wife, who can do the visas.
True, yeah.
We've got access to coaches, Mike, or we could get Fook. We get Marcel Chan. They're already in Southeast Asia themselves. So, like, I feel like we can put this together. So if you're happy to sort of be led astray by us, send us a DM where let's talk.
There'll be a pickleball to arrive at in the morning and a bar to a PM to meet at. And as always, our El Captain is here to put on this amazing podcast. Without you, there would be none of us. So the Gold Coast Mortgage Broker is our favorite mortgage broker here on the Gold Coast. And how you been, Holly? What's new in your world?
I'm just fighting for survival, mate. Really, yeah, with the home life.
Yep.
If we can keep this going until my wife and kids go to bed, that just buys me some time to think about how I make this up to my wife. So that'd be good.
Okay, we'll work on that. We'll
see
have
how
a couple more of these Balter beers and see where the night goes.
Matt, I want to talk to you about NPL in 2025. Last year, you're a part of MLP, captaining. This year, you're going to excitingly be part of NPL, and you've been picked by Danielle Townsend, who's a very familiar face. So tell me about that journey to get to NPL and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, look, it was awesome. Coming off a big 2024, there was a lot involved with MLP. We had the Amateur Smashers, little local events as well. You had travel over to Vietnam, New Zealand. I was there at the time, but for a lot of the international athletes, or even the Australian athletes like Aaron Blitz, it was their very first international event. So it was a huge event for everyone like that. A lot of commitment involved to these guys, captains drafting for their first times, traveling for their first times, a lot of the players meeting for the first times, and teams training together. So it was huge. It was awesome. Super grateful to have had that experience, and lead the New Zealand team was super special as well. I also got to go over and travel to Peru during this time to play for the New Zealand and the Pickleball World Cup. So that was another one-off event that was super amazing. Moved over, relocated to Queensland in July last year. Most people think it was for pickleball and better opportunities, but it was actually for the opposite.
It's the Kiwi thing to do.
Yeah. Well, it turns out Queensland's full of people from Melbourne, Sydney, and New Zealand.
Yep.
I went to a Beanley session on my first times here, and they're like, we want to introduce the Kiwi, Matt Carter. And they're like, sure, bro, kia ora. I'm like, I felt like the least Kiwi there. And I was supposedly the guest from New Zealand. So, loving being here. Moved over here to set up my family, and pickleball was just a bonus. So, yeah, it was awesome. Got to train with Danny and stuff at Rob last year for season 2. So that was part of my selection process and draft, was why I picked those 2 players, as well as them being incredible players. And then, finished up with the MLP, put my name down with NPL, and was very fortunate to be picked up by Danny. Super excited. Not sure what's better. And me and Dan sort of spoke about being drafted by Ben and Danny, himself, or being selected to captain the Hustler. They're both pretty,
Up there.
Yeah. So, super excited. Looking forward to it. Being local, like I said, I came over for my family, so I got 2 little ones, as you can appreciate, Adam. Yeah. Being more local, not having to travel overseas, just a Saturday and a training or a couple of trainings each week, rather than, a full weekend or a couple of weeks for some of those events. Really looking forward to getting back into singles too. I haven't really done that for a little while, other than Dream Breakers. And excited to play locally, NPL, different sort of players and local players. Yeah, so it's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely. In regards to sponsorships and branding, who are you working with this year?
Yeah, so obviously, NPL going to be alongside them, and I pulled out of the MLP Challenger, so not for any other reason, but I want to give my best to one. I can't, with 2 kids and everything like that. I can't give my all to everybody. So, yeah, just digesting myself into that. And then I've been very fortunate to sign with Komodo. So Dave and the team and my agent, Nate, look after me very well. They like looking after you guys as well, actually.
Okay.
Some products here.
Oh, sneaky boy.
Yeah, a
Tell
couple
me
of
about
paddles
it.
for you guys. So,
Beauty.
yeah,
Take that
they
one.
they came into the market.
Oh.
Agassi used to be with these guys. He was a big advocate for them.
Pick the white.
Oh, would you? Okay, done.
Hang on, what were you saying about Agassi?
Agassi was with these guys before he went to said new company. I can already tell it's a winner.
Paddle tap.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
they look after me really well. They got great products. They've also got some of the biodegradable balls down there. So they're really trying to use some innovation and get out there and disrupt the market. And I love what they stand for. They're all about family, looking after me, an awesome company. So super grateful to be supported by them this year as well.
And Komodo, is that how I say it?
Komodo.
Thank you very much for these paddles. Looking forward to get on the courts with these bad boys. Yours? Is there one that's a higher version? This one seems like it's the premium.
So that one's their Kevlar one. So that's their sort of more pro line.
This is what aircraft fly.
Oh, no, that's a Mach 5. Is that what that is?
This is stealth.
Stealth.
Yeah.
And your one's the raw carbon one. So that your one's newer.
Carbon's
if that
pretty
makes it a
Okay,
little
mine's
better.
newer. Okay.
Yeah.
Formula
all right.
1 cars are made with carbon.
So-
Just say anything. He needs happiness.
Yeah. I kind of like that white one. We might have to play for that later. But thank you very much for obviously giving us these. I can't wait to give you a bit of feedback and see how I go. I
was going to say, they feel this handle feels very like oval or skinny than shall I say a normal handle, what I'm used to. Is it a bit thinner?
It
Or
was,
you-
but most people will most people rip off and put what they want on it.
Yeah,
Well, I
you're
normally-
used to over gripping. Yeah, he
Well, I do.
over grips every other game.
Yeah, I do. I'll
ridiculous.
I'll keep this over grip
Yeah.
and I'll put 2 more on, and that's how I roll. I like it thick.
Yeah, like a chode.
That's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I've never tried. I'm used to what you're used to.
And are you excited for the transition to NPL? It's kind of a full circle, right? You drafted Danny, and now she's drafted you.
Yeah, she's my captain now.
That's so strange but cool.
Yeah.
It's wicked. I was stoked, honestly. Like, just to be drafted in general, it's like I really wanted to do. Just like I said, a few things fell into place, both in my professional life as well. So just to end up where I did after everything that happened, I'm super excited. Haven't played singles properly in a little while, so really excited to get back out there and do that. I know Dan is doing really well in singles, so I got a really good training buddy. And yeah, it's good motivation. Like I said, love being local, getting out, engaging, being able to train with all my teams. So we're all local. We're all here. And I've played with all of these guys and wanted to play with all of them in a tournament this year anyway. So it worked out.
What a media performer. I'm just looking at him. He's just got so much like expansive
Charisma.
answers. I almost think we need to get him on his second beer.
Yeah,
Just
well,
kinda needs to, like,
I think I've already
calm
drank
down.
his second beer.
Well,
but
I have got a little cooler bag there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I never say no.
And
Yeah, yeah,
Dylan, well, you're the man when it comes to commentary on the NPL. You've been doing it for a few years now.
is he the Hoff? He might be
He's
the Hoff.
he's the Hoff of commentary,
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
But what can you tell Matt about coming over to NPL? What is going to be like the things he can really look forward to, and how are you looking forward to watching him play?
I am. You've got your work cut out for you. To say it like there's so many players that play in the NPL that there's probably a bunch of Australian viewers don't necessarily know, and these players are very good. So it's exciting for me as a commentator to be broadcasting players of this caliber, because it's always entertaining, right? So your team is amazing straight off the bat, but there's 3 or 4 others just in Queensland that are of the same caliber. And then you've got New South Wales that are in the same boat, and then Victoria. You've already talked on singles. I think I mentioned to you off air one time, Adam, I fell in love with singles watching NPL. So to me, it's like the Oz Open's obviously on right now. To me, NPL singles is that caliber. Like, their singles games are elite.
Can you give me a bit of a deep dive on the single summary? To my knowledge, because I don't watch much NPL, but this year, it's going to change. Is it you play 4 points and then another single person comes in for 4 points, or do you play the full 21?
Yeah, so they have what's called a deal breaker. Now, keep in mind the deal breaker format may be changing. I haven't researched this particular topic, but as of last season, I can give that information. So that is a dream breaker that you've just said. Deal breaker is a little bit different. So they kind of do everything in one big deal. Big deal, if you will. There's significantly more singles across the board, though.
Okay.
Now, this season they've obviously changed their format, so but you will definitely play probably more singles than you would in MLPA. Considering Dream Breaker was the only time, but either way, it's going to be awesome. You'll have a great time.
And you mentioned that a lot of the players are super strong, and I think that showed even in a lot of them transitioned from NPL last season and then got drafted into season 2 of MLP. So you had quite a few of the stars, some of them now captains, come across from NPL, and a lot of them were tennis players because they were attracted to the singles element of it. That's what they grew to like to start with, and ironically, they normally transition to doubles from playing in pickleball, getting involved with it. Most of the time. Maybe with the exception of Tom Evans, I would say most people tend to enjoy the doubles more.
Yeah.
Once they get into pickleball.
Yeah. Well, I guess by virtue of this year, they're going from 6 players per team down to 4, right?
Cheers.
And we've also seen some players, some big name players, come and sign. And we talk about Daniel Townsend, we've got Joey Wild, we've got Summit Alabona, yourself now a part of it. So, like, the talent pool that exists there now is stronger than last year for a start. But then there's limited spots. So that's what makes the whole competition even stronger again. And I think that, for me, is what it really, really excites me, that, it's gone to another level and it's a domestic, picks, basically. There are a sprinkle, very small sprinkle of internationals, but that's going to be really exciting, I reckon, in 2025.
100%. And I think that's across all the states as well. Like, I think, last season, people sort of thought that Queensland was the go-to state, but I don't think there's a go-to state. I think that every state have great teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree entirely. And to add to your point, Adam, in that you've mentioned that you feel that the pool has expanded or grown. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, you got there was that announcement of Michaela, Summer, and Selena in one hit. That's huge. Summit Alabama moving across is just most winning captain moving across is just outrageous. But then they have NPL have players in Victoria, New South Wales that the Queensland market wouldn't know about they are incredibly good. So Queensland alone, like the players you have to go up just to get into the finals is crazy entertainment already. But then on top of that, you've got to try and actually play to win it all against these teams that are just as good.
Absolutely, but that's what it's all about, a great competition. That's what we all want. We don't want to go in and sweep without a challenge. Every team wants to go out there and battle and have a good time. So I'm super excited. I think the overall level is super strong, and I love that I'm able to train with my team. I think that's a huge benefit that NPL players in general will all get to do this season.
Yeah,
and probably how some of the players drafted. Like you said, there were a sprinkle of internationals available. Some big names coming in, whether they sign with PWR, therefore they can play NPL, or they just want to come over here and get involved with the Australian scene because they like it. You're seeing a majority of local picks, and some people drafted that way, I feel. They wanted to have, the chemistry as well as the ability.
And how are you taking the transition from being that captain, the leader, the communicator, and all that, to now you're a player on the team? Are you going to enjoy that, or do you rather being that organizer?
I loved it. I did apply, so don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have done it another season. So it wasn't that I didn't want to be a captain. It just wasn't for me this year, and that's absolutely fine.
Taking the transition from being that captain, the leader, the communicator, and all that, to now you're a player on the team. Are you going to enjoy that, or do you rather being that organizer?
I loved it. I did apply, so don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have done it another season. So it wasn't that I didn't want to be a captain. It just wasn't for me this year, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone's got to make a decision for what's best for their direction, and I'm absolutely okay with that. So I'm really looking forward to being a player. I think that even at Slam Jam, like you said, had a couple of beers, had a great time. Me and Travis Wild, we just went through and had as much fun as we could, had some great results, ended up fourth, but just, had really good time. And I'm looking forward to doing that all year. Even when I'm still able to play the PPA events, I'm still able to play Slam Jams, local regional tournaments. I'm just looking forward to getting involved with all of that and playing with a variety of players, not having to, not that I didn't not want to play with my team, but I love, socializing, networking, playing with a heap of different people, and I'll get to do that this year. So I am very excited to just be a player. A lot of this discussion might be centered around, the structure or how many singles, and there's been a few comments about what the format might be, and to be perfectly honest, I actually don't know, and that's one of the benefits I'm enjoing about being a player, not a captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Opals, I'm just looking at the team now. Obviously, you've got Danielle, but you've also got Deb Rossi.
Yep.
You've got Daniel Fogel-Kulich. How do you pronounce it, Colin?
Danielson.
And yourself. I mean, Deb Rossi, she was a captain last year. Am I right, Dylan?
And an MVP.
And an MVP.
MVP.
Wow.
You're a captain. You got Danielle, who's now a captain. There's just talent, leadership, and people that want to win. They're there to play serious pickleball, right?
100%. I mean, Danny and Dan especially. Deb's got a full-time job, totally respect that. But Danny and Dan, they're doing this for a living.
Yeah.
They are on those courts 2-3 times a day, traveling between Brisbane, Gold Coast, and everywhere in between, and obviously internationally. It's huge. These guys really want to win, and it shows in how they are on the court. It shows how they are off the court. They're all about it. I'm getting messages daily. Hey, can you hit tomorrow? Can you hit? And I'm like, I also have a job, But absolutely love it. Looking forward to it. Huge lineup, but big names across the board. You've got B. Horsley travelling from Melbourne to play in the Queensland event. You got Molly coming from the UK, looking to relocate here, I believe. A couple of Americans, Lexi and Brandon, coming over to participate. So it's just huge, Absolutely looking forward to it. Huge level of talent. And yeah, I'm very excited to play with all of the players. However, I might play with Danny, might play with Deb, whoever, but I was looking forward to play with Deb in a tournament outside of the event. Then when we got selected, I was perfect. That's the one we're going to play in. So,
and there's a lot more continuity, I guess, in the NPL format where, you play one weekend, then I think you have the weekend off, then you play the next weekend. So that's going to be probably, for you being a family man, it's going to be way easier to sort of deal with.
And just that one day, right? It's just one Saturday. You start at 8:30, finish by about 12:30. You play your 2 games. Obviously, you do team trainings as well, but the actual commitment to the events themselves is far less than weekends traveling. So sometimes weeks. We didn't just go to Vietnam for 3 days. You're there for 10 days all up.
Yep.
Climatizing, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, absolutely looking forward to playing NPL. Perfect fit for me, and stoked with the team and stoked with the overall Queensland level. I can't wait to battle it out there.
Have you played at the Jar yet?
I have not. I've been invited. Love Ron. So I've been invited out there a couple of times, just haven't made it there. Melbourne reminds me of Auckland, and I moved away from Auckland. So no real desire to get to Melbourne, but I will make it there, and we'll be there for the finals as well. Promise, Danny.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice. Dylan, players to watch. Tell us about some players that we might not know that you expect to be, shall we say, podcast names.
You guys know probably a large percentage of the Queensland players, so I probably won't delve too big into Queensland, but Victoria, there's probably some names you may or may not know. I've said quite a bit in NPL finals last year that there was two young ladies by the name of Isabel Papazan and Nerea Guerra. Those 2 young ladies are no doubt going to be very, very high level. I imagine they'll have a breakout year this year. So those 2 immediately straight off the bat. And on the topic of Papajan, she's playing under Daniel Kuznetsov, who I believe we were talking about earlier today off camera. So that's a very solid team. Timothy Kuznetsov is in that boat as well, another young superstar coming off. Kat Valos is the captain of the Roos. She drafted Catherine Westbury, who is another, you'll notice these are all female players we're talking about. So we talked about, Summer Dalabona, Selena Tarulia, Mickey Hyatt going across for the NPL. These are also ladies that are organically grown, that are all very solid. So on the ladies' side of things, they're pretty crazy. From New South Wales, do you guys know Adam Walters at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he is a content machine, or he should be doing content. Adam is probably one of the funniest people in pickleball, also one of the hardest partiers, but we won't go there.
He's been hanging out with Sumi.
Yeah, he was at Slam Jam, wasn't he? Yeah. I think they had a big night in Surfers.
Adam's a good egg. Have you had any run-ins with him yet?
No. I did head out with Sumi that night after Slam Jam. That was a good time.
Yeah, okay. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Another one I want to bring up is Kyle Stoker. So in NPL Sydney, Kyle beat Tom Evans in singles to take the gold. Kyle is hilarious in that he's obviously a tennis player and a high-level one at that, but he's still learning the rules. So he's playing against, the number one singles player in Australia for, like, prize money, and he's going up to the referees like, hey, do I have to let it bounce? Like,
You're using both hands, right?
yeah, he's just, but he's incredibly good. So Kyle, yeah, big shout out to him. His team with the Stingers, so he got Mickey Hyatt straight off the bat. So we talked about there's someone who can beat Tom Evans.
Yeah.
Drafting Mickey Hyatt, who we all know how good she is.
And APC, she kind of hit another level and then carried that form throughout the year.
Yeah, Mickey Hyatt low-key had like one of the best 2020.
I think so.
Yeah.
And no one talks
Especially
about
the back end.
Yeah, it's
Sarah
crazy.
Sarah won the last PPA in
did.
the women's double.
Yeah, so she's obviously a well-known product. For the Dinkers, so Alex Tran drafted Millie Smith, who I believe is an international pick. We talked about a couple of them already, so just another example of those. Selena Tarulja drafted really well. She has a lady by the name of Nancy Ferguson, who's a high-level tennis player as well, but she also has the combination of Kyron Lavers and Ben Porphyry. Ben, I think you guys may have seen him in the past. He's been around for a little while, but Kyron is definitely one to watch. I was very surprised. Well, not surprised, but it was a welcome surprise to see how well he played in the finals last year. But across the board, like I could go through and rattle off a bunch of names from a lot of these teams, but that gives you a little bit of a snippet. There's a lot of quality players organically growing within NPL.
That's a solid list, but I reckon one of the players that I'm looking forward to most is Joe Wild, captain of the Brumbies.
Bang.
We've actually lucky enough to get him onto the podcast, so let's switch to him right now. Joey, welcome.
Hey boys, it's good to be back.
Mate, we're really excited. We're just talking about NPL, and what can you tell us about the team that you've drafted?
Well, I mean, it's just crazy luck that I've been given the best team name, and I also ended up drafting the best team in the league. So, off to a good start here with the NPL. Look, for me, it was always going to be choosing a girl first. To kind of shore that up. And so Lindsay Baker, if you guys know her, she was the NPL MVP of season 2. So easy pick there for me. And then the way the draft played out really just fell into my hands perfectly. I couldn't believe that Caden was still available when I had my second pick. So that was a no-brainer for me. He's just a weapon in both singles, mixed, and men's doubles. So really happy with that one. And then Leona being available in round 3 again was just, I couldn't believe it. So the team I've picked in the end, I'm just super happy with. And I think we can really, take it all the way this year.
That's awesome, Joe. We know all those Queenslanders, so I'm looking forward to rooting on your team, and Brumbies are now my new favorite Queensland team. Just don't tell Matt Carter, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, now
you won't ever know.
You got a good transition from player, now a captain of a team. Has that changed for you? Any more responsibilities than normal, or how's that going?
Yeah, a little bit. Up till now, I've really just been focused on developing my own skills and gameplay, I guess, and now I kind of have to turn and kind of lead the team and see where we can all gel together and help my teammates improve their skills and show up their weaknesses ahead of the season. So, yeah, it definitely adds another layer of, I guess, responsibility in there now that I'm a captain.
Were you stressed drafting Joey? Being a captain in MLP is quite a stressful role. So did you find that stressful throughout the process and having to cross off names? Did you have your lovely wife there helping you stressfully and anxiously pick your next picks?
Yeah, I actually did. I was lucky to have her with me. You would know all about the stress, but I had a spreadsheet going. I had a whiteboard ready on the day with names to cross off. Yeah, thankfully, like I said in the intro, thankfully, like the picks that I ended up choosing came pretty easily, so I didn't have to kind of grind my teeth and toss up here or there about, maybe a minute skill difference between a couple of players. So a lot of stress before the draft, but as it was happening, felt pretty comfortable.
Yeah, good one. And my last question, Joey, is fun's a bit short because it looks like Mr. Costin came to my team. So what happened there, mate?
Mate,
Coach Costin?
I was just so confident in my own abilities and the team that I had lined up that we don't need any extra help. So yeah, you guys might need it on the Opals. We'll see how we match up.
I look forward to it.
Hey, Joey, Dylan here, mate. My question's more relevant to, I guess, because in last season, the NPL teams got team sponsors. You guys called the Brumbies. Surely you're approaching, the bakery conglomerate to get some sausage rolls behind the team.
Look, if we can get some cheese and bacon rolls for the team on game day, that would be outstanding. We'll see. You never know, but that's a good point. I should reach out to Brumbies. I don't know. Do you know any other horse brands going around?
I do. What about Magic Millions? They wouldn't be short of a buck.
Magic Millions. Yeah, no. I'll hit up Magic Millions. Hit up the local TAB even.
Well, mate,
money through that.
There's a few of us here betting on you in 2025. Colin is going to be one of them. He's got one more question for you before we do let you go.
Now that you're a captain, I imagine you're involved a little bit with the format of each tournament. Do you have a bit of a understanding? Obviously, it's going to be a bit different from MLP, but do you have some knowledge that you can pass on to us?
Yeah, so you're asking about the format of the NP League, so how the rounds work?
That's correct. So you're going to play another team, and what does that involve?
Yeah, so we play each other team in our state twice over the course of the season. And each matchup there's 4 ties. One of them is men's singles. So that'll be 2 games to 11, first to 11. And so that can finish 1-1, it can finish 2-0, it can finish 0-2. So those singles games are independent of each other. There's also a women's singles leg that follows the same format. And then there's a gender doubles and a mixed doubles. And the difference with those 2 legs is the score keeps rolling. So the first 2 teams come out and play to 11, and then the second team switch and play that through to 22, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes plenty of sense. Is it rally scoring?
No, regular scoring, which I love. Get rally scoring out of here.
Okay.
Well, you got one of your wishes in 2025, mate. We hope you get a trophy at the end of it too. So thanks so much for your time, mates. And take care, train hard, and we'll be speaking to you soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, boys. Go Brumbies.
Go the Opals.
See you, buddy. Well, there you have it, Joe Wild. Sounds like he's in a nice place, and we had him on the podcast, and we knew he was a quirky guy, funny guy, very easygoing guy. But I love the fact that he's a captain now. It's gonna be a different challenge, but I think he's gonna be the right fit for it.
He's just like genuinely one of the coolest people in pickleball. Just wants to get involved with everything. Talks to everyone. Is enjoys what he does. Always has a smile on his face. He's just a really good guy. Good advocate for the sport. Does a lot of promotion externally as well. So a perfect fit for pickleball and a great advocate for Australian pickleball. NPL are very lucky to have him.
Let's be honest though, as a captain, he's gonna rely on his partner, his lifetime partner, his wife Tatiana, to give him some advice as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's not snapped up and advertising being the coach already. Like,
It's available.
yeah, it's
Good shout out. Good segue for Tatiana. She just started Beyond the Court. I don't know if you caught that last night. It's a little blog.
Okay, no, I haven't.
And she did a very, very, I think you read it, Dylan, a very good breakdown of the nuances between NPL and MLP here in Australia. It was actually a very, very good read. We're going to have
Beyond
her
the
on the
Court.
podcast.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'll be
I
on
actually
the
sent
lookout.
it to Jess in the hope that she would be able to say, oh, yeah, I've met Tatiana. This is really good. I'm into this now. Haven't yet heard that come out of her mouth, but I'm really hopeful still.
Okay.
Yeah. So send it to Lindsay.
I'll
You
send
might have a different result. We'll see. Boys, how about we change it up? Let's talk about MLP.
Slam Jam.